Hello, welcome and welcome back to yet again another video. And in this video, we're going to be getting ready for church alongside with my intrusive thoughts. I'm going to put you guys through everything I think of in my head while I'm getting ready for church on a Sunday morning. Yeah, so stay tuned. So, in as much as we don't want to believe that this is reality, we put this hair everywhere in our body, on our faces, on our backs, on our waist, on our chest. I mean, it's a normal thing at this point. And if you do not do this, it's totally optional. But because of my eyebrows are very, very, very full, and I like to keep my eyebrows a certain shape and a certain way, so that's why I'm going ahead to pluck out the excess hair I have on my eyebrows. And also I have this tiny tendencies. I'm an able girl. Yeah, and I know to have mustaches, so I'm just taking out all the extra whiskers that I really don't want my foundation to sit on top of when I'm getting my makeup done. So I'm doing my edges first because I saw this video on TikTok where this girl said the game changer is where you do your edges first before your makeup. And I didn't know why I didn't think about it this entire time, because when you do your makeup first before your edges and then you want to put your hair, like you just be dragging the foundation, dragging the contour, dragging everything. So if you could relate to that problem, then this is the hack for you. Get your edges done first, then you go on to the rest of your makeup. So it's time to start our skincare. I'm starting off with serum. I already did my toner after I kind of like shade up my face, because you have to shade your face then clean it up. Okay, so after I cleaned up the wipes, I applied my toner to clean up the excess hair. So the next step is your serum. This is the Marigold serum, and I got it some months ago and it has been amazing. I think this is my most updated skincare slash makeup routine, because this just what works for me, and I find it very simple to do and simple to follow. And I like that by putting this serum underneath my eyes, it has helped me to get rid of under eye creasing that most times I used to suffer from. But I tried that one day and I saw that by applying it there, it just took care of all those creasing. I don't know what they put inside this bottle, but trust me, it is working. I would like to add this to this video just in case you're wondering why I'm literally frowning my face. It's about 4:30 in the morning, and given that I did not sleep until like past 1 a.m., I've barely gotten enough sleep. And the fact that I woke up and next thing I'm doing is carrying a camera, it's not nice. I know people used to say that if you're not happy, you can try to show on camera. It was showing on camera today. So if you're wondering why I'm burning my face, why I'm not even having the best time, it's just because of I haven't gotten enough sleep. But let's not worry about my mood right now, because it's not really the goal of this video. And let's just keep enjoying this video as we proceed. And I think I like doing videos like this because it's therapeutic for me. Because I mean, personally, I do like getting ready, and the fact that you're not rushing to get ready for somewhere, it's very therapeutic. And bear in mind, I was playing music in the background, so I was having an amazing time, and it was just healing my soul until when I realized I didn't have enough time. So I mean, if you want to feel better, you might try this. Just play music and show that you're not rushing, and get your makeup done and dress up, and you see that your mood would instantly change and switch up. So right now we've gotten to our eyebrows, and I use the same wax that I use on my edges. Some people use others, what do they call it again? I can't remember. I think it's brow wax. Yeah, but I mean, it's pretty expensive if I think about it. And I don't really see the need to go and purchase it for now when my regular schmegular edge control can do it for me. And this actual wax works like crazy. Like you can see how it's already put in place and does not leave any white residue at all. And I just love how it makes my brows look very much laminated. When people ask me if I get my brows done, I'm like, no, girl, it's just edge control. And so after doing this and brushing it, I like to use my finger to just press it down a little bit. And now it's time for our primer. I'm making use of the Marigold mattifying, the Marigold matte clock primer. And yeah, it's a mattifying primer literally. And at this point, I realized I had made a very huge mistake. Like you literally see the point where I was like, oh, it was at this point that I knew that I had fucked up, because tell me why I forgot an actual step that I was supposed to do for the step, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I should continue filming. I didn't know if I should clean my entire face, but I knew that if I did clean my entire face, I was going to lose about 10-20 minutes of my makeup routine. And so I just continued because I had not finished blending everything. So in case you didn't realize, what I missed was that the normal step is you apply your toner, apply your serum, apply your moisturizer, and apply your primer. But this girl mixed the two of them because she had not slept enough. This is why you need to sleep properly, because things that your brain should automatically remember, you begin to forget. And this is me here praying that I don't get cancelled. I don't get cancelled because it is well. So I just went ahead to apply the moisturizer, the same brand by the way, around the other part of my face where I had not applied my primer, and I think on my right cheek because I already blended that one out. But I really did not even care. I mean, it is what it is. I cannot come and kill myself, because if I stop this video at any point, I was not going to film this video. And I wanted to try it out. I wanted to try out how filming without talking, because I'm trying to see how I can make my filming process a lot more easier for me. And I saw that by talking, it was taking me much more time, because I had to be stuttering. I had to remember a lot of things that I don't want to remember by 4:30 in the morning. And in return, it took me more time to edit. And one thing you know about people that film content, that are like one-man team, they don't like editing their own video because it's a lot of work. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I hope you like this silence vlog. Is this really, I don't know, but I hope you like it. And this is me just praying that this makeup does not scatter, because if it does scatter, I will not forgive myself. So I'm just trying to make sense of the mess I just made, and I pray that it goes on well. So if you see me squeeze my face anyhow, this is just what happens behind the scenes. This is what happens, that like these are the scenes that I basically cut out and people don't really see. But in this video, I did my best not to cut out any parts that was not cuttable. And right now I'm just like, God, I beg, like how could I make that kind of mistake? So I went back to apply much more primer to sort of like erase the mess I made earlier on, and to just deceive the makeup that we did not make a mistake. If that makes sense. I know it doesn't make sense, but just work on it. So if you're new to the channel, hi, my name is Goodness, and I'm interested in makeup and beauty and lifestyle and a bit of faith and content creation. Yeah, I like to look for easier ways to get things done, and I don't like to complicate life as well as complicate things that people tend to like to complicate because they want to make money out of it. So that is who I am. I live in Lagos, Nigeria for now. I live in Lagos, Nigeria for now. So it's very nice to meet you. I do hope that you stay subscribed and we have an amazing time here on this channel. So right now we're going to do our brows, and for some that do not want to be stressed, why did I go ahead and use a brow gel liner? Because I have eye pencil, and this is like, at this point I was like, goodness, who sent you message? You know how much time you have to dedicate to get this brow looking good. And one thing about me, I feel like once you don't get your brows done well, like once your brows are looking bad, they're looking ashy, you most likely will miss the entire makeup. Because why am I not breathing? Why am I not actually breathing? And I mean, at this point I was getting it right, but there's still something wrong. I was looking like this babe, what's her name, this Disney, is it Disney, Maleficent? Like my brother giving Maleficent kind of eyebrow. Like, why is it so sharp and angular? And there's just something wrong with these brows, but I was just trying to still make sense out of it. And I was just beating myself up that why didn't I just go straight with the eye pencil? I mean, I'll save myself some sanity, save myself some time, and still end up looking good. But I was trying to be a pro, and it's not my fault, okay? Because I cannot come and kill myself. So we're just going ahead to fill out the sparse areas. If you want a very much detailed eyebrow tutorial, I think it's one of my most best, what kind of English is that? I think it's one of my best videos I have on this channel, and I'll put it up in the comment section or in the description box for you to go check it out, so you can see how far we've come. I think I even need to do an updated video on that one, but so far so good. That's what we have right now, and this is what we're looking like right now as well. So this brow was looking all kinds of wrong. Like you can even tell that it was giving sausage that they just bent towards the end. And I don't know why. And I was like, God, what can I do? Should I clean it off, or I should just try and fix it? Or I should just try and use concealer to make the shaping again, because I didn't know what was going on. And while I was trying to think about what to do, I said to go in with my tools to clean up my brows. I used a flat brush like I showed you there, and I either go in with a concealer or a foundation. There is one thing that I never realized about makeup until this actual video, is the number of decisions you have to make for each step. From your skincare, you have to decide, okay, do you want a matte makeup or a dewy makeup? Do you want a long lasting makeup or a makeup that can just serve you for like 10 hours? Like every single step is a major decision that you have to make, and if you use the wrong product, you might as well not even get your makeup done. Because tell me why at this point I cannot decide if I want to use a concealer to clean up my brows or I want to use a foundation. My concealer would work, but my concealer needs to stay on my face for a longer period of time before it can give me that consistency that I'm looking for. Whereas if I use my foundation, it's not the most ideal thing, but it does work for me, and I loved how I was able to cover up everything that I wanted to cover. Because remember, I shaved up my eyebrow initially, but I didn't do a very clean job. But the fact that my foundation is a very thick, has very thick consistency sometimes, yeah, so you can able to cover up all those other things that I do want to still be showing. And the fact that I placed it on a flat pan, like all this, how am I describe it now, all these flat pans that they use for like makeup, and just helps me to get the exact quantity I need. And I saw that if you just apply it directly on your eyebrow, whether it's this step or any other step you're doing, it's best to just put it on the surface first, so that you can control the amount that goes in on your skin. That can help to save more time when you're blending. And this is what we are looking like right now. It's looking okay. Yeah, on normal days I might not really clean up my brows with anything, because that's like the new thing that's trending. But on days like this is very important, because see how we're not looking like human beings. Before, we're looking like a grandma's lizard, but now we're looking like a human being. But after I was cleaning up, it was still looking somehow, because while at the end still looking like Beku, and the beginning part was looking okay. Like everything was just looking wrong with this eyebrow, and I didn't know how to fix it. So after embarrassing myself on camera for about 15 minutes, I went back to my first love, my one true love, the one that never disappoints me, the one that I should have actually gone for initially, my eyebrow pencil. This pencil is basically older than I am right now. It has been in the Nigerian market for over 20 years. I don't know the brand that makes them. Each time I try to go and look for their page, they are not even existing. I can see how I have been able to restore the line that I was looking for. And knowing that this pencil comes in various shades, like the shade game with this pencil is crazy, and you cannot tell me that there's no shade that fits you perfectly. So what I was trying to do with the pencil was that I found out that the end of my brows were not as dark as I wanted them to be. So I just used the pencil to like just get the outline properly done. And you can see the fact that I used the foundation, I was able to blend it in very well into my skin. So now we're going into our eye makeup. And in case you do not know, or you're new here, eye makeup is my favorite thing about makeup, because it just defines your look. And you can have like a regular everyday base makeup that you do the same time every single day, but your eye makeup can try to change your entire look for you instantly. Like they say, the eyes are the window to the soul, are the windows rather, said window, are the windows to the soul. So I'm making use of a concealer in this step to cover up my hyperpigmentation, and as well cover up the lines, because if I close my eye, you can see some like greenish lines, some little bit of dark skin going on there, and that's what we don't want. And you can also do this with eye primer, but I don't know whether I have beef for those primer things, but I found that I could get the same result with my concealer, so I just went for it. So after applying your concealer, you want to blend it properly, and after you blend it, before you're doing your powder, ensure that you do not have any creasing, because I have hooded eyes, meaning that when I look up after a while, my those lines begin to like show and swallow up my concealer. So I like to blend it properly again before I go in with the powder. So at this junction, we started drawing our eyeshadows up. I'm making use of my Jacqueline Murphy Hill eyeshadow. You can use any palette that you have. This is my regular, everyday, easy peasy lemon squeezy eye makeup look. It never fails me. I can do this in my sleep, literally. And I have found different ways, different brushes to get the same look. So let me just break it down for you in audio in case you're not really understand what I'm doing right now. So I could use a brown gel like when I use my brows in that first step, but because of I didn't want to stress today, so I started off with a brown eyeshadow, like a very dark brown eyeshadow. I'm using a very penciled brush. If you don't know what that brush looks like, click on the video that you're seeing right in that top corner. I'm going to also leave it in the comment section and description box. That video is going to show you kind of brushes that you need for like regular everyday eye makeup look. So I use that pencil brush to just draw a straight line of dark brown eyeshadow, and then I tried to look for another one that was like maybe 1 to 2 shades lighter than that actual one. I wanted one that was very close to my skin tone, and that's why I can almost not see it. So after doing that, I went in with a fluffy brush to just blend everything together and not make like an actual distinction as to where each line started from. So after I was fine with what I was looking like, I mean, I went with the skin color nude brown that was very close to my skin tone. I'm going with the black gel liner. You know, I told you that I had brown that is my brow. This is the black one of it, and it's an actual eyeliner, but I use it for my brows because you beat me, you know. So I'm using the very flat eyeliner brush to just draw my eyeliner game. If you are still a beginner with eyeliner, not to worry. I filmed the video on eyeliners just before this one, but I haven't just been able to do a very good thumbnail for it. I might not even end up doing it, but I don't know why I'm stressing a lot about thumbnail, but I'll put that one up probably after this video. So this is why you should stay subscribed and hit the bell notification button so that when I put out that video, you'll be among the first set of people to watch that video. And I mean, who does not like an eyeliner game? I feel like they are very pretty. I'm someone that has big almond eyes. I like the way it transforms my eye shape into looking like cat siren eyes because they're just too pretty. And again, I'm a barb, so I mean, making that kind of like influenced my love for eyeliner. Let me know if you're a barb as well in the comment section. Okay, so one thing you want to do with eyeliner is that you want to humanly possible ensure that you have the exact length. It's not possible, but just do the best that you can. And once you've done the best that you can, leave it for God because you cannot come and kill yourself. So what I'm just trying to do right now is to fill up any area that I didn't apply eyeliner. And I was looking at my eye and I'm like, this thing still looks very much naked. I mean, I know I'm an eyeshadow girly, and for someone that's an eyeshadow girly, this looks very much, I didn't want to even wake up this morning kind of makeup look. We're looking like every day. I'm not saying it's bad. I could wear this, but something was still just missing. So I tried going in with more color to maybe make it a bit more pigmented, but it was still not eating the way I would have loved for it to eat. And I was just like, okay, should I go in with glitter or should I go in with shimmer? And I ended up going with my Maybelline Master Pro Metallic Highlighter. And I'll just print that, God, let me not win this makeup because I don't know why I cannot be happy with this. And just go and I just applied this first swatch, and you guys, it was super pigmented. And I was like, goodness, this thing has gone from everyday makeup to Owambe makeup. If you know what Owambe means, it means like party, like Nigerian party, like wedding party, naming ceremony kind of party. And I felt like it was looking out of touch because my outfit for the day was giving casual corporate. And I know that with makeup, they tell you that, okay, there are no rules in makeup, but there are still some certain rules that you need to abide by. And I had to just keep blending it so that to make sense, but it was still looking off. I don't know what was looking off about this eye makeup, but it was still looking very much off. So I went back to apply that first shade of brown shadow I applied for that edge. I used a much more bigger brush, but a blending brush so that I can just blend it together with my crease and just make it look like a darker outer part of my eye to make sense. At this point, I'll just swing in, like anything that came from my mind, I'll just swing in it. So I went ahead to open a new eyeshadow palette. This is my New Delicious by GRWM makeup, and it has very pretty glitter shades there. Like, I feel like if you're not a new viewer or you're not a new person on my channel, you must have seen this palette a lot of times on my channel, because it's the perfect palette for nude makeup. And I applied one of the bronze shimmer shades there, and it was coming together. I really liked the way it was looking amazing at this point, but something was still missing. I felt like because I'm going with white and blue and black, having gold was not just doing it for me. So I ignored my problem like most people would do, and I mean, I'm not wrong for doing that. And then I went ahead to just apply a dark brown eyeshadow underneath my lash line to just make the look come together a bit more. And at that point, I applied eyeshadow in my eye, and I got that big. Go for this eye checkup test where they want to see how much dirt you have in your eye. I'm probably sure they'll see tons of lash glue, tons of eye makeup, tons of eyeshadow in my eye, because I'm tired of how many times I put eyeshadow in my eye. So right now we are done temporarily with our eye makeup, and we are going straight into concealer. So this is my concealer for today. This is the Nuban Beauty in My Skin concealer. And take me to court, take me to the bank when I say I believe that it's one of the best concealers that we have out there. It's easy to blend, it's amazing, it's creamy enough, it's just very perfect, and it gives you the best coverage that you can have as long as you get the right shade for you. So I don't know, I was shaking my foundation like it's some fruit juice, but I was shaking it. The way when you're about to open a pack of fruit juice and they tell you that you have to shake the bottle so that all the ingredients can mix together. That was what was in my head at this actual moment. I don't know if that works or that does not work, but I did it. And at this point I was thinking, should I use a brush? I use a beauty blender, a beauty sponge, but I went for my Younger Beauty foundation brush. This is an amazing brush, guys. It is soft. I like the shape. It helped me get into those places that are kind of like hard to get with a very regular schmegular brush, and it's very easy to work with. And the fact that I am best assured that I'm not going to end up staining my face or staining my hands rather with foundation, because I mean, I like the beauty sponge, but the fact that with my blending on my foundation, I might have to get some foundation on my nails or my fingers. I don't like that sometimes. And you guys see how easy it was for me to blend this guy. The reason why I'm leaving my concealer on for now is that I want to give it time to get into my skin. When you have your concealer on, if you want very crazy coverage out of it, I want you to give it the best they can possibly give. You should let it stay on your face for maybe like 5 minutes. I don't really know the timing, but what I just do is that I put on my concealer and go ahead to get my foundation done and other things that I know that I don't really need to have my concealer blended for, and that just gives me enough time to get my concealer to the perfect point that I needed to get into. So as you can see, as you can tell, I didn't apply foundation directly to my T-zone area, and my T-zone areas are my forehead, the part in between my eyebrows, my nose, and obviously I didn't apply anything above my cupid's bow, the part above my lip, because I already had concealer there. I might be wondering why, the reason why, and here's the reason why. So in case you do not know, I have a combination to oily skin, given that for some certain areas of my face I produce very crazy amount of oil. That is the middle of my eyebrow to my forehead, my nose, my cupid's bow, and my chin. And for those kind of areas, you want to do your best to apply very little products there. When I say products, I mean foundation, concealer, contour, those creamy products here, because if you apply less products there, you have less things to worry about. So what I normally do is to just use my brush on this other part, and then whatever I have left on my brush, I will just go over that middle section. So after blending it with brush, because I feel like I applied excess foundation, which I know I did, I then went to my beauty sponge and then set with setting spray. Normally I'll just spray the spray. I said spray the spray. I'll just apply the spray on my skin and then blend it with my beauty sponge. I'm like, okay, since I will need a damp beauty sponge at the end of the day, let me just spray it on my sponge, and that made a lot of sense. So I use the sponge to absorb the excess foundation I have right now, and then I went in to start blending my concealer. And you guys, when I said this thing was easy to blend, did I lie? Did I actually lie? Like, see how you cannot even tell the difference between where I applied my concealer and where where my concealer ends and where my foundation starts from, because it is so creamy. And the fact that I gave it little time to get tacky, it just what makes it creamy. So if you've been struggling with getting the best out of your concealer, or you're not getting the result that these other people get online, then maybe you should give you about 1 to 2 or 5 or 10 minutes to get into your skin, because the tackier it gets, I want to say tacky, I mean that it's not so runny. It feels like it has dried, like that cemented, but it's still able to like be picked up and to stay, and this just makes it easier for you to just have that much coverage that you want to have. So if you have like dark circles, and whenever you go in with your concealer you still see those dark circles peeking through your makeup, then baby, you want to leave your concealer for a much longer time to cover up those raccoon eyes that we have. Okay, I want now to add is that never be afraid to make weird faces when getting your makeup done, because you have to make those weird faces so that your makeup looks great at the end of the day. And after blending, I could not just be more happier, because I knew that my face was going to slay at the end of this makeup game, because it was really looking put together. After this step, you can really tell if your makeup was going to go bad or is going to eat. And at this point, I could tell. I'm missing my dancing steps. I went over that part of my face with my concealer because I had this very dark zit that I don't know where it came from, but I kind of ignored it. I'm like, you know what, we're already fine. Is it or not zit? Okay. So as I was saying before, I got distracted by my beauty. I got distracted by my beauty, and I don't want to let you know that it's not a terrible thing if you have to put your face a certain way. Ensure that you do what fits your face, and ensure that you are working with what your face is leaving you for you to work with. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody. So right now I'm going to be setting my under eye and everywhere else that I applied concealer with face powder. I have a powder palette that has like I think 8 shades, but what you want to do before you go ahead and set it with powders, that you want to blend those areas first, especially under your eye. You see I'm making that red face. I have to do that because I have some wrinkles, some lines in that area of my face. So if I don't do that, I won't be able to see the areas where the concealer has really entered into. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody. When I'm just take a second and say it again for you to understand. So when I relax my face, you can see that those lines are there. And after I apply my concealer the first time and then relax my face, the concealer then moves into those lines as far it sucks it in. So that's why before you go ahead and set your face with powder, ensure that you take your time and go back and blend it and leave your face in that position, then set it with powder, because that way you cement it the way you want it to be looking like at the end of a makeup game. Okay, I don't know if that makes sense, but if we need much more insight, let me know in the comment section. So I'm taking my time to use my powder puff to ensure that I don't have too much powder anyway, because less is more in this instance. So at this point I'm thinking about, okay, should I go in my blush first, or I should go in my contour? Like I said before, every step of your makeup is a decision making process that you need to decide to ensure that you have the most flawless makeup look. So I'm going on my contour first. This actually is not a contour product. It was a bad shipment from a foundation that I ordered a while ago, and I don't know why I went in with a lighter shade and they gave me this shade. Like clearly this is not my shade, but apparently we could not trade it, so we had to convert it into a bronzer, and you can see that it's really doing its job. I love how easy that this product is actually able to blend, because for something that went wrong in shipment, I didn't really have much more hopes, but it was really doing its job. And if you're a very observant person, which I think you are, you can see that the shade I have on my nose contour right now is a bit different from the shade I had on my cheekbones, and this is the reason why. Remember earlier I mentioned that I put my foundation on a pan. I mixed the leftover of my foundation on that pan with the quantity of contour I put on that pan, so I just have like a softer shade of bronzer for my nose, because I realized that it's very easy to have a very ashy contour on your nose, and if you don't have the right shade or right placement, you can look like what you don't look like. So I mixed it and it gave me a lighter shade of brown. I like to think of makeup like finer class. You know, the way you're looking for a particular shade of color and you don't have it in your palette, but just keep mixing 2 or 3 colors, just going with your intuition. That is how I like to see makeup as, and it has not failed me yet. So even if you don't have the perfect shade, you can always mix 1 or 2 things together. Don't be scared to mix 1 or 2, because at the end of the day, makeup is just art. Okay, so I'm making use of my Real Techniques brush. I probably put a number on the screen already because I can't remember right now. And this brush is very perfect. It is an actual foundation brush, but I love how it just blends my contour very easily, and it's not so harsh. And the fact that I use the edge, I mean, this is not the ideal brush for blending nose contour, but one thing I hate about makeup is the fact that you have to go and wash your brushes after using them, and I don't want to have to start washing one more brush than I actually would go and wash. So I'm like, you know what, let me just use the side. On a normal day, I might not have been able to swing this kind of move, but because I was paying very close attention to it and I was being very careful, I did it. But you do not want to play around with this if you're a beginner with nose contour. You can go ahead and use a beauty sponge, that point part of a beauty sponge, to blend your nose contour. But if you're a pro, my dear, use any brush to work for you. Then to clean up my nose contour, I had to pray, because God, I did not want to mess this thing up. I did not mess this guy up. So I just put I just put concealer in the middle of my nose. And what I was doing is that I was like, okay, I don't want to have so much product there because I produce oils, remember. So I was picking up whatever I had left on my nose, the part I put concealer, and using it to blend my forehead. So normally I would needed to have put concealer on my forehead, but because I was working backwards, I'm like, if I put concealer on my forehead, then I'll have too much concealer on my forehead to apply a new one. So I put the quantity I wanted to have on my forehead and my nose on my nose. So I'll just pick it up and then put the excess there, and then we'll have a very much less product nose. I don't know if that makes sense, but just watch the step. It's a very much visual information that I'm sharing with you. So this is what you want to look like. And at the end of the day, I ended up going with my foundation brush. I didn't put any other foundation on my brush. I just used whatever I had left in my brush to just blend out that gap, because I wanted to show like a very distinct line where my contour started from and where my concealer started from. And then I used the edge of the brush, like you're seeing right now, to just pick up any excess concealer that I have there, because remember I said less product, less oils. So right now we're going into our blush. This is from a Marie Code, by the way, and at this point, but then while I was feeling like, okay, let me just continue my rule of using my brush to pick up my product from their casing. And I mean, it was going so well, but something funny happened. And this is about 3 days since I showed this video, and I still cannot explain what happened, because I have done this step so many times and I don't still understand what happened. So as you continue watching, you see that I am applying it in certain areas. That is the area just above where I applied my contour, and just underneath where my concealer ends. That's the right placement for your blush. You don't want to go any lower or any higher, because we're trying to target we're trying to achieve a lifted, structured face. And I was feeling myself up until this moment. Why did it look like this brush swallowed, cleaned, erased my blush? I mean, that part happened. I'm like, maybe just that part, maybe just one of those days that, okay, one part not look nice. And tell me why it was not. I'm like, what? Wait, what is going on? Like, what is the problem? And I'm like, you know what, forget all these rules. I'm applying it directly to my skin, because how can I be applying something that I bought my money and you're telling me that you want to not show? Like, bro, make it make sense. So I applied way much more than I normally would. So let us see whether you actually not still show at the end of the day. And I feel like at this point right now, thinking about it, I feel like it's the brush that was the problem, because this is a super blending brush. And you can see that even when I applied that quantity, it was still swallowing the, I don't even know what happened. It was basically swallowing the blush that I applied on my face. And I don't really know what happened up until now, but let me know in the comment section if you think you have an idea of what happened, or probably it's the brush. But I normally use gonna brush normal, so I don't really know what actually happened this day. And if you see that there's a hash line showing at that actual point where I'm blending, not to worry, the girl saw it too, so don't be scared. Calm your titties. We're going to go back and apply more blush around that area so that we can cover up those hash lines. Okay, it's a trick I have there. I can see, voila, they have been covered. So I mean, just when you're doing makeup, think about it like art. Like, don't be so stressed about it, because makeup can tell when you're afraid. Yeah, they can tell when you're scared, they can tell when you don't have confidence in yourself, and to show you shaggy. So that's one thing that you want to have at the back of your mind. Or finish observing our makeup and we're looking like it's good to go. You want to do this step before you go in with your powders. It's time to apply our powders after we've applied our cream products. So apply your cream products first, then go ahead and apply your powder products. So right now I'm showing all the things I'm going to use for my blush. I don't actually have the perfect shade of blush that I would love to have, so I mix. Okay, I use the pink shade from the one you saw earlier, then I use the pink from, let's say the pink, I used the red shade from the one earlier, then I used the pink from the LA Girl blush collection, and using my Real Techniques brush to just give me the perfect blend. And at this point, I don't know why I did not stop at this junction, because this was the look I was going for, but because I have big head, because I like to overdo. Next to hear what I mean, I was seeing it. This is why I should wear my glasses to do my makeup. I was seeing that, okay, goodness, stop. But I'm like, no, I have blush blindness, I cannot stop. I mean, tell me why I was seeing that I was good to go and I kept going. There's this spirit of blush that just tells you, keep going, you're not done, keep going. And at this point I'm like, goodness, you're gonna get clown. But I was like, you know what, I got this. I don't know what I was pride, knowing that I can always make it make sense, even if I make a mistake that will worry me. But either ways, I was like, no, we're going to fix it later. So going on my setting powder, I'm going to apply loose powder. I know you're wondering, okay, I thought we applied powder already for our conceal part. Yeah, that was pressed powder. The rule of getting a flawless makeup look for under your eyes and for areas that you apply your concealer is that you want to go in with pressed powder first before you go in with any loose powder. And if you don't know what pressed powders are, you know all those powders that we have like in a pan, like I showed you that one, as compared to this one. This one is like dusting powder, it's like very much loose, and the other ones that are pressed powder that like contain, they're put together. They don't, when you do them, they don't just in the air like that. So that's what you want to apply first before you go in with your loose powder like this. And I'm making use of the benign setting powder in the shade Banana and just applying it there. I like to bake my under eyes a lot. I don't know about you, but I like to bake, and I also like to use this step to just clean up my nose contour. I use the powder and use the edge of the powder puff to just shape out the part of my nose contour. And the part I like to shape out is from, you know, that tunnel looking part of your nose. One go from that part and just go straight up to the beginning of your eyebrow. That's the sign, and that's the trick that I can use to get to know the part that you need to apply your powder to clean up your nose contour. So that's what we're doing. We're applying that loose powder on areas where we applied our concealer. And right now, because I want to have this sharp structured look on my face, I like using the same loose powder to just slash my cheekbone. I have high cheekbones, so you want to go directly under your cheekbones. And a trick for you to know where this is this line should connect to the beginning of your ear. Okay, you should connect the beginning of your ear and face down towards your jawline. Should kind of like simulate your jawline. And I'm putting powder there because I have smile lines and dimples there, and I really don't like how my makeup looks like when I begin to talk and laugh and then there's one significant line on my face. I see they scratch me there. I don't like that, so I like to put powder there to just seal everything. If you have an oily skin like I do, powder is your best friend. You can never go with way too much powder, especially if you loose powder like one I just applied right now. So right now I'm putting my bronzer, that same palette I showed you where I used that blush, that reddish blush from. There's this reddish brownish shade, so that's what I applied for my bronzer. I want to apply your bronzer, your powder contour on the same areas where you applied your cream or your liquid contour. Just helps your contour to stay longer on your face, and as the day goes by it does not get swallowed up by sweat or heat or every other thing that happens. So now that we are done with our contour and done with our blush, we are not going to take out the excess that we have going on. And in doing this step, you can also go ahead and add powder to certain areas where you feel like it's not as bright as you want it to be. Like now for my nose contour, it looks pretty decent, it looks pretty okay, but I feel like I didn't cut it, I didn't define it the way I would love to, and I had to go back with powder because I mean, you can see the actual line is not showing that the contour was it. So I went back with powder to just define it a lot more better. I can see that that just made a whole lot of difference. So just taking out the excess that we have, because you just want to have a cakey makeup. I can see by applying powder on that blush, it is getting a lot more softer. So if you have way too much blush going on your face, use powder to just get rid of the redness or the pinkness that you have going on, and then to look much more normal. And yeah, this is what we are looking like right now. And at this point, I'm semi happy because we're almost done with beating our face. It's time to apply our last and final powder. I'm making use of the mineral finishing powder from Nuban Beauty and the shade Lagos. And you can see that I went directly on my blush because that's the part that I need to literally work on, because I need to blend it to make sense on my face and my makeup at the end of the day. So I went in with powder directly there, and can see that we are looking normal, we are looking reasonable now. And I'm using a powder puff thing. You can use a foam, you can use a sponge, but I feel like this is just the best because it makes your powder a bit more diffused and spreads it out a bit much more easily than a powder puff would do. So this is what we're looking like right now. I like to put powder on my eyebrows because of I don't like to have like super dark eyebrows. So using powder over there makes them a little bit much more softer. So I'm taking my time to apply powder everywhere. If you have an oily skin, again and again, powder is your best friend. Apply powder everywhere on your face. I don't want to know if it's too much right now. It will make sense as your oils peek through. So I'm just going back to apply that dark brown shadow underneath my eye because my concealer and everything are just taken away from that color that I wanted to have there. So I'm just restoring it back onto my eyes. Okay, so at this junction, we are basically almost done with our makeup, but just before we set it with setting spray, I went back to just add a little bit of a white shimmery shade of glitter eyeshadow on that part because I don't want to look like gold, but I don't look like silver. I don't know what the mixture is, but that's what I did there. And then I'm going on my Nuban Beauty Silhouette mixing, let's say mixing, makeup fixing spray. So all these terms be twisting my tongue. Makeup fixing spray, and this makeup fixing spray is supposed to help you to get rid of any powdery look that you have on your face. You know, when we use a lot of powders, but applying this makeup fixing spray, it is going to get rid of the powdery look that you had going on and make you look a bit more skin like. Then going on my hand fan because you want to show that this thing dries properly, because if they don't dry and then put your face in a certain position and then it dries in that position, your makeup will look like that the entire day, and you don't want that. So take your time. It didn't take time to dry, so I don't know why, but take time to make sure that it dries completely. And while I waited for it to dry, I wanted to go ahead with my lips. So making use of this Polar Beauty lip gloss to define the to basically outline my outer lips. And I know I went a bit much in that part. I'm going to fix it up later on. Like I said, I was happy that I'm almost done my makeup at this point because we're already looking put together. I'm making use of this hydrating matte lipstick from the same brand, Polar Beauty, and using this shade Rouge. This shade is the perfect shade of pink for me. I don't know why, but I just can't seem to get my hands off this guy. And then I know this is not hygienic enough, but like I might spin because I mean, you will not beat me. But this is what we're having going on right now with our lips. And at this point, it could be okay, but I was not feeling this pink today. I was feeling like I have different shades of red. And I think that I want to match your blush color to your lip color, so that just makes a lot of sense. So I went in the Nuban Beauty pink. I can't remember the actual name, yeah, but I put it on the screen. High glossy pink lip gloss. And then I'm using a brush. I blend that instead of using my actual lips to blend it together. I'm making a small brush to just blend it together, makes it a whole lot better. So when you saw this girl is on TikTok, on Instagram, having these very lovely beautiful lips, they use brushes, girls. They don't use their actual lips or their fingers. They use brushes because I mean, if you're an artist, if you're a painter, you use a brush to paint and not all the time use your fingers. Yeah, so I just went in with like a different shade of nude at the center to just give me that actual pinkish nudish look that I was looking for. And one thing about me is that I don't stop until I get exactly what I'm looking for. Like the actual shade that I'm looking for in my head must become a reality. I don't want to know how many things I would have to mix, but I'm taking my time to ensure that I get the actual shade that I am looking for. And at this point, I'm like, it's not so bad. I mean, we can manage it, but let's just see what our clear gloss will do for us. So I'm making some of this absolute clear lip gloss, and I'm already feeling my makeup look at this point. So going over it to clear lip gloss. Don't be like me, guys. Check your stuff before starting your makeup. Because tell me why I knew that this is about to finish before I start filming. But I just love how applying the clear lip gloss makes any lip combo amazing. Like, there's something about clear lip glosses that no matter how bad you think your makeup looks like or your lip combo looks like, applying the clear lip gloss just makes sense out of nonsense. And I had to just keep going on and on till I got the perfect look that I was looking for. And at this point, I'm like, goodness, why are you using your lips? You just said doing it to your lips. And I using your lips to blend. And I said doing it. This girl, oh my days. So after trying going against my own instruction, like literally, I said to go in with my Omarico setting spray. But I'm like, wait, hold up. I have not applied my highlighter. I saw this trick from bridal makeup that said you want to apply your fixing spray, then put in your highlighter first. Then now apply your setting spray above it, because if you put in your highlighter before your fixing spray, it will basically just vanish. You know, we said that the fixing spray helps us to just turn everything that's powder looking into skin. So if you put your bronzer first, your highlighter first before this, it will basically just swallow up your highlighter, and then it will not be existing longer. And the fact that you cannot go back and apply it again after you've said everything is just a very bad thing to happen to anybody. So I'm applying it on my nose as well, and above, well, not above, below my eyebrow, that actual curve part, because I feel like a goddess when I do that kind of thing on my makeup. Okay, I don't know, just my own option. It's not important. Then going in my setting spray to mattify every single thing. I mean, you have to go in with multiple sprays because everything has to be looking like matte when you're done. And then going with my fan and keeping my face in my actual position so that nothing is being set into stone without looking like how I want it to look like. So go by with your fan. If you have an actual fan like this, go with paper or hand fan, and this is what we are looking like right now. At this point, I'm like, okay, should I go in with mascara or go in with lashes? I'm like, we're looking good, we're looking bougie. Psych. We went in with mascara, and this is the final look. Thanks for watching.